I think that was good. I actually think that was really
He really
good.
doesn't want to do
I don't think I can do a better version of that.
He really doesn't want to do it again.
I just like smile and
He's got a good smile. All right, you be the pretty one of the duo. I'll be the smart one.
yeah, right, yeah, good.
Good looking, smart. Can't have both, unfortunately.
No.
All right. Hi there, this is Felix.
And I'm Rowan.
And welcome to Gas TV. This week we've turned our couch into the sharing couch, and we thought we'd take a bit of time and share our experiences as working jazz and contemporary guitarists with you in our special Q&A session. So if you want more content from Gas TV, be sure to subscribe to this channel.
And click the little bell notification so you know when we've got new content.
So this week I thought we'd have a bit of a chat about how we both started on guitar.
Yeah.
All right, so first question, let's see. Do you want to answer this one first? How old were you when you started playing the guitar, and what made you pick it up?
I think I was about 12 and
Late bloomer.
yeah, actually maybe even 13. I was grade
Wow.
7.
Okay. This is in Hobart? No,
This is in
Devonport.
yeah.
Tasmania. So for those of you who don't know Australian geography, Tasmania is a little apple at the bottom of the country. No one really pays much attention to it. Is it actually a state?
It's like no man's land, yeah.
Yeah. Is it a state? It's technically
state.
It's technically an Australian state.
Tasmanian devil.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. We know from Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. But Devonport.
Okay, yeah. And I think it was part of our music class. We had to pick an instrument.
What grade was that? That
This was grade 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
High school. Just started.
High school, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was another guy who was also playing guitar.
Yep.
And I was just like, I want to be better than you. And I think it was a bit of a competition.
A competitive streak
Yeah.
at a young age. Yeah. But did you play any other instruments before?
I did. When I was really little, I played classical violin.
You were a violinist first, and you
Yeah.
didn't pick into that. You didn't get into.
I think it just became very intense for a young kid.
Okay.
It was like
Yeah.
classical 5-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever it was.
Were you good, or did you just sort of try and then give up?
I can't remember. Like, I remember playing Little Brown Jug.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So.
So I had some of the standards down.
That's right. The important ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should challenge you to play it on the guitar.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, later.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I learned to read music, so I had a little bit of
Yep.
step up on it.
Yep. And so it wasn't like you listened to something and you just what did you do in year 7 and on the guitar? Like what sort of stuff did you get you to do?
Chords. But I started getting lessons at the end of that year.
Oh, okay.
And from a guy who didn't play guitar, he played piano accordion.
Don't you hate that? They have teachers do multiple things just to fill roles.
This guy was a private teacher. He was really good because it actually sort of made me not learn the guitar, but learn theory and learn songs.
Right.
And so I learned all these like not jazz, but like real old school trad kind of tunes.
Right, okay.
Like,
all right. So you actually got a lot out of that.
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
So I had quite a large repertoire of that era of, I don't know if you call them jazz standards, but they're sort of like, you know, like Hoagie Carmichael and all those old school.
Yep.
Yeah, so I had that kind of stuff down.
Jeez, okay.
But then that made me want to be like, want to play rock music like everyone else was playing.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started playing guitar?
I actually was a lot younger than you were. So I was, I think 6 or 7 is what I want to say. And this is the thing, Asian parents, music was compulsory, right? So you had to have you had to learn to swim, you had to do, swim, and music was really it. And you got to make sure you were good at maths, that sort of thing.
So survival skills.
That was really important survival skill, mathematics. You never know when you might need your 2 times step multiplication. But I actually picked up the piano first, right? And absolutely hated it. So my parents had gone out and bought themselves an upright piano, cost thousands of dollars. I had 2 lessons in it and said, I don't want to do this anymore. And being the liberal parents they were, they actually let me quit it pretty much straight away. So my mom ended up using that piano for years. Anyway, so I grew up in Malaysia. And there was actually I'm a bit older than you. So this was in the, 80s, early 80s.
So this is before I started learning guitar.
This is before you were born. This is before you existed. This is before you were even a glimmer in your dad's eye. Jesus, I feel old. But there was actually literally, it was a developing country. I mean, it's still a developing country, but it was even more, we didn't have the internet back then, so the world was a much bigger place, right? So getting electric guitars in my town was just, I'd never even heard of an electric guitar. I've seen it on the TV, but so access to music teachers there was fairly limited. So when I wanted guitar lessons, it was classical guitar. And I apologize sincerely to my guitar teacher, Larry. If you're out there, I'm so sorry. I was the worst student in the entire world. I was the sort of kid who, I wouldn't practice all week, so he would turn up to teach me. They came to my house, and I would practice in the lesson. There was nothing he could do. He just sat there and just listened to me practice. Yeah, I was horrible. I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But so I got into the guitar largely because I had to do an instrument, and the piano wasn't it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I really enjoyed or got the guitar, what I wanted to do on it until my mid-teens, so quite late. Because I did that classical thing, it taught me to read. I could always sight read reasonably well, at least in first position. And then I stopped. I came here in my early teens, and then in Australia, Melbourne, and then I stopped playing, and then from then on I was self-taught, and took the journey from there.
Okay.
What's the oldest exercise you still remember how to play? What was
the oldest exercise? I think that would be what I used to call leapfrog.
Leapfrog.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I want to hear this. I think I know what it might be. Is this loud enough? All right, show us leapfrog.
So it was basically going up in thirds.
Oh yeah.
In any scale that you're learning.
And then coming down is the basic.
Yeah, and coming down.
You still play it, right?
I still play it because
every gig.
I always play every gig. That's my improviser.
That's your main lick. It's like, what do I play next? Can't think of it. Leapfrog. Right? Is that it? No, that's that's a version of it, isn't it?
Is it like a pentatonic version?
Oh, you did pentatonics.
I did.
There you go. That's a major scale.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
good,
major scale.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That was the way I sort of tried to learn.
Yeah.
Or my teacher told me to learn scales.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. So my first exercise that I still remember to do is finger picking one. I don't know what it was called. It was I don't. We had very poor access to books back then, so teachers used to photocopy stuff, so I had no idea where some of the stuff came from. But it was a finger-picking etude, basically in C major, which I still remember to this day because it's burned into my brain. And any one of my students who wants to finger pick, I've handwritten it out and photocopied it for them as well. So it goes something like... Oh, I'm out of tune, am I? That's terrible. Hang on a sec.
That was an anticlimax.
I know.
You talked it up so much.
It's awesome. It's super awesome. When my guitar's in tune, it'll be fine. All right. So here's my great finger picking etude. I've stuffed up already. Waste of talent, isn't it? Yeah. And now I'm a jazz musician, just common jazz musician. Jesus.
That was good. Exploration of the C major.
You know that lick, that little etude. That I use that in every single '80s pop ballad.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, because it's that standard thing. Yeah, so that's why I learned how to play '80s pop ballads and pick up girls, very successfully. What made you get into jazz, Rowan Patterson?
Well, I'd always had that little bit of history in learning sort of the those kind of tunes. Those really old, you know, like Ain't Misbehaving and all that kind of stuff.
This was from that teacher.
This was from
the
that
first teacher
yeah.
that you got.
So it was like
you lucked out.
Well, not really. I hated it. So
did you? It's got to be better than.
Yeah,
that's your first teacher.
I did learn that one though.
Yeah.
But that was like, that's what I always thought of jazz as.
Right.
And then I think in grade 12, a friend of mine showed me Pat Metheny's.
Oh yeah. Which one was that?
Orchestral.
Oh yeah.
Which was weird, and everyone hates on it now because it's like electronic music.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
You liked it?
I liked it, yeah.
It's pretty good.
And then I was like, oh, I should probably go to the conservatorium and study jazz.
That was it. That was like, year 12. What do you do for university or college to you Americans?
Yeah.
And you decided just go play music.
Yeah.
Were you like you were a kid who everyone said was the guitar kid in school? Was that it?
Well, I went to a really small high school.
Ah, okay.
So there was like maybe 2 or 3 guitarists.
Oh, right, okay. Yep. Fantastic.
Maybe 2 guitarists. There wasn't many of us, yeah.
Okay, yep.
So it was weird moving to the city and if you can call Hobart a city.
Yep.
And seeing all of these really good musicians.
Yep. But you were effectively drawn to the music by the time you got to the conservatory.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Properly trained jazz musician.
Oh yeah. So what made you get into jazz?
I was self-taught largely after those classical days, so banging around the guitar, and obviously got into the blues. I don't think I actually learned my first blues lick properly till I got into university. And this is just back in a bedroom banging around with friends sort of thing. And then back then, I found a CD in a bargain bin of jazz standards, not jazz standards, it's just a collection of jazz background music. And there was a track on it, I think it was the 4th track or thereabouts, had a 4-bar intro, jazz guitar intro, just solo guitar, and I can't even remember what it was. It was something along the lines of something as simple as that. Yeah. Something really, really, really straightforward. But that sound just drew me. I don't know what it was about that one thing. I don't even remember really liking the whole track. Yeah. It was just those 4 bars. That was it. And I thought, what is that sort of music? It's obviously jazz because I bought it said on the cover. That's what got me started. I started exploring this whole jazz thing and what jazz guitar was. My unfortunate next step was really Tuck and Patty. And Tuck Andrews is a great guitarist, but he wasn't, you wouldn't consider him jazz, mainstream jazz, but he's an awesome guitarist. So, but again, I suppose it's about what's accessible to you. Yeah. So Tuck Andrews had that sound that was accessible to me, and I explored him, got into him, then and went on from there. Eventually found my first jazz guitar teacher. To this day, I do not know the name of that track, who was on it, or what it is, and occasionally you'll catch me searching the internet, just listening to random stuff, trying to find it. And I haven't yet. Rowan Patterson, who was your most influential teacher?
Okay. I think every single teacher I've had has been very unique.
Yeah.
Like all my conservatorium teachers are so different, and you know what I mean. Like one of them was very jazz heavy. One of them was very reading heavy.
You can't point to it. You can't point to anyone who had that single.
No, I don't think anyone. I think everyone was like. I was like, oh wow, I'm really interested in what this person's doing. And then I went down that road, and then I got this other teacher, and then I was like, wow, I'm really. And I've sort of changed styles with different teachers.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when you sport for choice with good teachers, because you actually went down a route of actually getting trained properly in a university. Yeah. See, for me, because I was entirely self-taught, I was just bumbling the dark. It almost feels, if I think back now, it almost feels like I was bumping the wall, just trying to figure my way around, what to do and how to get into jazz. I still had no idea how, at the age of mid-20s, trying to work out how to play this jazz thing. What the person who did it for me, and I suppose it's like you, I think what you're saying is that all your teachers are important, but like you, I had that one teacher who cottoned me onto the one thing that was most important that set me on the path, and that was the late great Bruce Clark, great Melbourne-based jazz guitarist. Bruce was a polarizing figure. He had a great sense of humor, but you either loved him or hated him. He had this famous saying, 95% of all music is crap, because 95% of everything is crap. That was Bruce. It was really good. But what he did was Bruce basically trained guitarists for jobs that don't exist anymore. So he was proper. He grew up in the time when you apprentice on the banjo. That old, when the musicians union actually gave you jobs, that sort of thing. But he basically taught me the importance of taught me the basic skills of the trade. It was a trade to him. Music literacy, sight reading, what you need to do, what skills you need to do to be a working session musician. And while I didn't spend very much time with him, ended up with a motorcycle accident that cut my time with him short. Another story for another video. It instilled in me those basic principles, and from then on I knew what path I needed to head down. So that was Bruce was it for me, basically.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So literacy, really important, kids. Stay in school. Actually, on that note, how important is music literacy, do you think?
I think, well, this is a really good question, because I think it depends where you are wanting to go. Like if you are wanting to go, I guess the whole session musician thing, I mean, I know that if I couldn't read, I feel like half of my work would be gone.
Yeah, you just couldn't communicate.
I couldn't do it, and there's so many gigs, especially if you're talking about chord charts.
Yeah.
Like even notation, that cuts down a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
But then chord charts, like, I don't know what I do.
Yeah.
Covers gigs, but that's about it. Or rock sort of contemporary bands, original bands.
Yeah. Suppose the way I think about it is that in music, like any other language, right? How much you get into the language depends on what you want to get out of it. At the end of the day, like any other language, it's an oral tradition. So you can learn to speak it and converse and get around town without reading or writing it. But if you want to do a little more, like even just order from menu, for example, you need to start having some basic literacy skills. You and I probably wouldn't survive. We couldn't play music we wanted to play efficiently without it.
No, well, I guess as well is you can't, when someone asks you to do something, they're not going to ask you to do something unless they know you can read what they want you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's how they're going to communicate.
Well, the economics as well, isn't it? Because the thing is, if you had to memorize everything that you had to play, you basically can afford to stay in one band.
Yeah, I do admire that though. People that have got one thing that they do, and that's all they do. But like a band.
But we'd be way more broke than we currently are.
Well, we don't have any bands. No one wants us to be permanent.
No, that's the thing. We're not part of bands. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I mean, but again, coming back to economics, because of the stuff we do, we can fit in 2 or 3 jobs in a couple of days, sort of thing, and just keep moving around. I mean, that's a reality of being a working musician, isn't it?
And it makes being able to read makes your life so much easier, because you don't have to sit there.
Well, that's the thing. So gigs I won't take. Like there's the simple reason why I'm probably drawn to jazz as a genre and as a career path. If you do the rock gig thing, you've got to memorize 40 tunes for one band.
It's one of the hardest gigs, I think, when you get one of those.
It's just a lot of work, isn't it? I remember being asked by a friend to sit in on bass, electric bass, for his covers band, like sort of 80s, 90s rock stuff. Cool music. I love it. I know a lot of those tunes. Then I thought, yeah, no problems. 2 weeks, I'll get all the bass lines down. And I sat down and actually started thinking, wait a minute.
It's a full-time job.
Just learning 40 songs. Nobody charts them out, properly at least anyway. You're always working from really roughly written chord charts, if anything else, and then you have to just memorize everything to play it and get the feel down. It was hard work.
Which is another thing that I think a lot of the working guys that don't read do, is they seem to know a lot of tunes.
Yeah. They've
have
got
a
the library,
huge catalogue of these just cover tunes.
Yeah, but I suppose it then only leaves the super talented ones, the ones who have that repository of music in their head already, and can probably hear it and pick it up really quickly. So they learn very quickly. So that's so they're talented in that way. Yeah. Whereas you and I, the schleps, we
can't remember anything.
That's right. Don't have a chart?
Yeah.
Hey, bad joke. How do you make a drummer tennis bowling down?
Yeah.
Sorry, let's rephrase that. Bad joke. How do you make a guitarist tennis volume down?
Oh.
Put sheet music in front of him. So that was us sharing a little bit of ourselves with you guys out in YouTube land. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do subscribe to this channel.
And check out our Facebook page and our Facebook group.
Yep, the Facebook support group, the gas support group, because we will help you with your gas.
Yeah. And click the little bell notification and subscribe.
Yep. And we've also got social media. We're on social media as well, so do please follow us. Do feel free to comment and ask us questions in the comments below. In fact, if you got other questions you'd like us to answer, this is supposed to be a Q&A. We'd love to have more questions from you so we can provide the A to you as well. And till next time, bye.
Bye.
Do you have more guitars than most people have pairs of jeans? Do you live in the fear that your other half will discover your graveyard of empty guitar cases only to find that some of them aren't really empty? If so, click here to subscribe to Gas TV. We're here to help with your addiction.